God offers a very practical and very powerful source of strength, but one that's often overlooked, and that is joy. And sometimes joy is looked on as something fluffy or frivolous in the serious business of the Christian life, but nothing could be further from the truth. Hebrews 12:2 tells us that it was because of the joy that was set before him, Jesus was unable to endure the cross. And joy is really a choice. It's not dependent on our circumstances. One of my favorite books in the New Testament is Paul's letter to the Philippians. And it's such a short little letter, but in that tiny little letter, Paul mentions the word joy and rejoice no less than 16 times. And those words have encouraged probably hundreds of thousands of people down through the centuries. And they were written in a filthy, stinky dungeon in a Roman jail as Paul was waiting for his trial and possible execution. So it didn't depend on his circumstances. It was a choice. And joy is also a command. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 4, he says, "Rejoice in the Lord always." And again, I say, rejoice. And I love the way the Message Bible says this. It says, celebrate God all day, every day. I mean, revel in him. And one of my favorite verses, my current favorite verses on joy, is in Psalm 34, verse 5, where it says, gaze upon him, join your life with his, and joy will come. Your faces will glisten with glory, and you'll never wear that shame face again. So joy is both a choice and a command. I know many years ago I had a life-changing experience that at the time was absolutely devastating for me, when both my husband and my very best friend came to me on the same day. The two people I loved and respected more than anyone else, they both came to me on the same day, and it wasn't a setup. At least it was by God, but they didn't plan this. And they both said the same thing to me at different times. They told me that I was negative and full of self-pity and complaining. And if I didn't do something about it, I'd be a mess. And I was shocked. I had no idea that I was like that. And it really, really hurt when the two people I loved most told me this. But I determined then that I was going to see the good side in everything, and I was definitely going to rejoice. Joy is life-giving. Even secular studies, actually hundreds of them, tell us that people who are joyful have less stress, less depression, and live healthier, longer lives. So when you're tempted to feel sorry for yourself or complain, or just see the negative side of something, stop and draw on God's secret source of strength and rejoice.